You're watching the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. We are talking an updated list of Rashee Rice replacements as we got some news to get to on that front in regards to Rashee Rice. It ain't looking good, folks. We'll tell you what's going on there and what the Chiefs could do next with some updated options for Kansas City. We'll talk about all that and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Chiefs Kingdom, we are closing in on 60,000 subscribers here on the channel, just over 500 away from reaching that next milestone. For daily news and rumors, our live shows, Q&A mailbags, watch parties throughout the season, breaking news and more, it's all right here on the Chiefs Report. If you are a true member of the Chiefs Kingdom, you got to be subscribed to the Chiefs Report for the latest happenings on your favorite team each and every day. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV, and never miss a moment. All right, let's start with the latest on Rashee Rice. A new report coming out on Tuesday. The Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is out for the rest of the regular season with an LCL injury. This coming from Jordan Schultz of Bleacher Report, who posted the following on X. Sources, Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice underwent successful LCL surgery today with Dr. Cooper and will miss the remainder of the regular season. A full recovery is expected. There was also repair done to Rice's hamstring tendon, and I'm told there was no structural damage or tears to the ACL or meniscus and no long-term concerns. This is the best-case scenario. So one key before I move on to the next graphic here is what he said about the regular season. He didn't quite rule out the possibility of Rashee Rice returning for the postseason, but as Pete Sweeney of Arrowhead Pride of SB Nation reports, the postseason is probably unlikely for Rice as well. Listen to this from Sweeney. Confirming several reports of Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice undergoing successful surgery on his LCL. The good news is no damage to the ACL, MCL, or meniscus, and there is an expectation of no long-term issues stemming from the injury. Rice's estimated recovery time is 4 months, but it could be reasonably stretched longer. There could be a clearer picture of Rice's outlook come December. So we'll know more when it comes to December, but here's what it comes down to. The best-case scenario for the Kansas City Chiefs for a potential return for Rashee Rice is in time for the postseason. And ideally, the Chiefs get the 1 seed, they get a bye week, and you push this off as long as potentially possible for Rashee Rice to return. That's the best-case scenario. Now, here's the worst-case scenario here, all right? We could be looking at a world where we don't see Rashee Rice put on a Kansas City Chiefs uniform again till mid-2025. Think about even if he recovers and it's after the season has wrapped up, when the Chiefs season ends, let's say that he's not ready back for the playoffs, well, he hasn't faced a suspension yet from the NFL for the ongoing shenanigans that occurred this past offseason, and that could be a suspension at the beginning of next year, so he could take that while he's fully healthy and then make his return at some point next year. It might be a long time before we see Rashee Rice playing for the Chiefs again. Basically, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs at this point, you have to start preparing as if you're not going to have Rashee Rice for a while, as if he's going to be gone for quite a bit, whether it's till the end of this year or part of next season. You have to go on business as usual without having Rashee Rice there. That's what the Chiefs are looking at the moment. So where do they go from here? The first name that comes to mind is Amari Cooper of the Cleveland Browns, who is being talked about in a lot of trade rumors right now on the trade block, with the trade deadline approaching in about a month. And there was a report earlier this week from Albert Breer of Monday Morning Quarterback from Sports Illustrated that said the Chiefs are going to experiment with what they got right now, and then by the trade deadline, they will make a decision of whether to make a trade or not, and Amari Cooper could be the guy they're exactly looking for. This would be a home run for the Kansas City Chiefs if they can land a guy of Amari Cooper's caliber. His salary works within what the Chiefs are looking at with the cap constraints, and his trade value, because he is 30 years old, a bit of an older receiver now, is not going to be as much as some of the other players that are out there. And he's still playing at an incredibly high level. A Pro Bowler as recently as 2023, five-time Pro Bowler in his career, previously with the Cowboys and the Raiders, was traded to the Browns in 2022. And you look at this Browns team, they have so many problems, so many issues right now that there's a decent chance they're going to be sellers at the trade deadline. Cooper, so far this season in 5 games played, has accounted for 20 catches, 208 yards, and 2 touchdowns, coming off a campaign where he had over 1,200 yards and 5 touchdowns. This would be a big get for the Chiefs offense potentially if they can bring Amari Cooper in. Let's ask you on our pinned comment today, should the Chiefs trade for Amari Cooper? Type T for trade, P for pass. Weigh in, let us know if you think they should make a move. Next up, we find Deontay Johnson of the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers traded for him back in March from the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Johnson has played better than I expected, personally speaking. I'll be honest, I was not high on him when he was on the trade market earlier this season from Pittsburgh. And you think about this situation in Carolina of just how much of a mess that team has been, from benching Bryce Young, going to Andy Dalton, and just not having very many weapons to work with there. Just a bad football team. Deontay Johnson has played very well so far in 2024. A Pro Bowler and a second-team All-Pro in 2019 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I would argue that the version that we're seeing of Deontay Johnson right now is the best that we have seen since that 2019 season he had with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So far this year, his numbers are actually even better than Amari Cooper's. 23 catches, 262 yards, and 2 touchdowns so far to begin the season. If you had to pick one to trade for, would it be Amari Cooper or would it be Deontay Johnson? Weigh in, let us know. Type AC for Amari Cooper. Type DJ for Deontay Johnson. Next up, we find Darius Slayton of the New York Football Giants. And you look at Darius Slayton, it's been very up and down for him in New York, but he hasn't had the best of situations with the Giants, with having to have Daniel Jones as your quarterback there. But he's coming off, I thought, was an impressive performance against the Seattle Seahawks this past week. It was one of the best games of his career. So he's got a little bit of a hot hand right now, and you could argue that maybe he's just now starting to come into his own. 4 career seasons with at least 724 receiving yards. The Chiefs have done business with the Giants at the trade deadline in the past. If you recall, they made a trade a couple of years ago to bring in Kadarius Toney, and ultimately, we know how things worked out with Toney, but Toney did help bring in, a Super Bowl in Kansas City, so it wasn't all bad with Kadarius Toney. But nonetheless, Slayton, so far this season, has accounted for 18 catches, 244 yards, and a touchdown score here in 2024. Another name, speaking of the New York Giants, we turn our attention to Jalin Hyatt, also on this list. And I look at Jaylen Hyatt, kind of the same complaint that I have about Darius Slayton is that it's not all his fault for the former third round pick out of Tennessee. I don't think the Giants have used him right at all, that they have not played him to his full abilities, his full potential, as so far in his young career, he's only had 1 game with 100-plus receiving yards. You go back to November 26th, against New England was the last time he did that. 22 career games played so far with 9 starts. And you look at the numbers this year, I mean, it's been a goose egg. He has been just forgotten about as he's only had 3 targets. And there's a lot of talent there. I saw a very good receiver in Jalin Hyatt at Tennessee that I was excited about, and he's just been left for dead basically in this New York offense. I don't know who he pissed off or what happened there, but it's tough to explain. Who's a wide receiver the Chiefs should add? We've gone over a few. We got more to get to, but want to hear from you guys. Wait in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sporting events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. They have their super deals. If you see a super deal, that's a deal you don't want to pass up on. They have their seat views so you can get the visuals. So if you want to go to some Chiefs games, maybe some Royals playoff games, all sorts of options for you. You choose the event you want to go to, choose your seat, see if you like that seat or not, then you're checking out on Game Time with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Last on our list, we go to the free agent market, and this is where we find Michael Thomas, the former NFL Offensive Player of the Year. He's had a fantastic career, but a few injuries here and there has held him back. He's not the same player that he once was. That's why he's available for any team to sign right now. And the question that the Chiefs have to be asked themselves, that everybody wonders with Michael Thomas, is just how much does he have left in the tank? His statistics, we'll show you those here in just a bit, show that he's not the NFL Offensive Player of the Year receiver that he was in 2019. But if you're the Chiefs, you're not looking for that right now. You just need somebody to catch the football and make a decent impact, kind of like what JuJu's done. If you can get another JuJu, if Michael Thomas could do that, I'd be more than satisfied if that's the case. A 3-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time first-team All-Pro, his best season, you go back to 2019. It's been a while, but you look at the numbers here, and I think there's a reason to be optimistic with what he did last season with over 400 receiving yards off of 39 catches, 1 touchdown, 11.5 yards of reception. I would take that on this Chiefs team. We'll see what they do. For continuing Chiefs coverage, subscribe now to the Chiefs Report. We will see you next time. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us.